we have already tested this SQL inside the SQL environment. Okay, and after we have tested this SQL, we have already defined 3 blanks. What are the blanks? Add in full name, add in DOB, which is date of birth, and add in department record ID. What does the in stand for? Input. Okay, and this SQL is just a string of characters that has been supplied inside this SQL text variable, and then I copied out the content of the SQL text variable into the command text property that belongs to the command object. So I have already supplied the SQL to the command object. I have already supplied the SQL to the command object, but there's one problem. The command object does not know what are these 3 blanks. Now, in order to help the command object to keep track of all these 3 blanks and educate the command object at the same time, we need to leverage on the parameters collection, or the parameters variable that is belong to the command object. So this is actually the parameters variable or array or collection, whatever they call it inside the internet, and it belongs to the command object, and it is used to keep track of all the blanks. So what is the new blank that I want to add into this parameters array anyway? It is what? Dot add, and after add, I'm going to supply the command object. You got an in full name inside the SQL, and this in full name is actually of a particular data type. What is the data type? SQL DB type, and then I have to go and supply that it is a varchar. Uncle, it is a varchar. Okay, and what is the size? The size is actually 100 characters long. Okay, so this is actually how we tell the command object that there is a input parameter. There is an input parameter, and what is the name? In full name. What is the data type? Varchar. And what is the length? 100. Where did we get this information from? Where did we get this information from? It is from the table design of the staff table inside this web a underscore database, right? So how did I get the design out? Right click, select design. I right click on the staff table, select design, and that is how I push this design information out so that I can inspect it. So how am I supposed to go and supply the value into the blank? Right, I've already supplied the command object that there's a blank, and the name of the blank is in full name. So right now, how am I supposed to go and supply the value for this blank? So after I've already supplied the information about the blank, I need to go and tell the command object that find the blank back. Right, find back the blank. Of course, I need to go and provide a matching value in full name. Find the blank back. After I have already found it, then supply the value. And what is the value? The value is the input parameter variable defined for the method, and the value is the input parameter that I've already defined in the method, because the input parameter will store information such as like Mary, right? Such as Mary, or it could be XYZ. Right, XYZ, or it could be for example SNND or whatever. Okay, whatever it is, just an input parameter that will hold the name of the staff, and sooner or later it will be copied into the blank. Okay, now then after that, are there any other blanks that we need to inform? Yes. How many sets are there? 3 sets based on my video recording here. Okay, so there are 3 sets. So what am I going to do? Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, right? And what is the next blank? Command object. You got a blank called in DOB. Okay, what is the data type? Varchar again. Is it varchar? Yes, it is varchar. What is the length? It is 10. It is 10. So I come back to here and I will supply 10, right? And of course, after I have already supplied the second blank information to the command object, I need to tell the command object to find back the blank, okay, by providing the matching value here, right? Say, can you please find back your DOB that I've told you just now, and can you please fill up the blank with this value stored inside the input parameter variable, which is in DOB? Yes, of course, it's easy, right? Done. Now what about the next one? The next one is in what? In department record ID, right? Department record record what? Record ID. And what is this right now? What is the data type? Is it really varchar this time? No, it is what? INT. Right, INT has a fixed length. That's why I don't need to supply the third information. Okay. Now, is this really INT? Notice that it's complaining. I'm too confident. It is supposed to be what? Dot. Let us check. It is, let me see, any selection. Let me guess, what is the next best thing that I can select, right? Is it INT? I think it is supposed to be INT, must be typo. Yes, capital I, right? Not small I. Now, then, of course, I need to tell the command object to, just now I told you the blank, The blank is called department. The blank is called what? Department record ID. And you find back this blank, And then after that, please supply the information which is going to be stored inside the department record ID. So if the staff is attached to 1, the in department record ID should have a value of 1, right? The in department record ID should have a value of 1. Agree or not? And so 1 will be assigned into the blank, right? So let me actually just undo something. Right, so in other words, that I have already finished defining all the 3 blanks, and not only that, I've already filled up the 3 blanks. And where did the information come from? It will be coming from the web form later. It will coming from the web form later. The web form will supply information through these parameters. The web form. Have we built the web form yet? Not yet, right? Right. The web form will supply the information through these 3 input parameters. Now that's not all. After I've provided all this information, I need to start telling the connection object that, you better start open up your connection, so open, right? It will know that it will need to communicate with this database. It will know that it will need to communicate with this database residing in this database server on my computer. Why? Because earlier on we have supplied the connection string and even supplied how to connect to the database with the correct credentials. Then after I've told the connection object to open, I need to go and tell the command objects to say that, open ready, you better start sending. You better start what? Sending the SQL to the database. What does the execute non-query mean? Send the what? Send the SQL to the database through what? Through the connection object. What is the name of the connection object? CON for my recording session here. After you have sent it, of course, the database will respond. Will try to go and create a record. After it will create a record, it will respond a value like 1 row is affected or 0 row is affected. It shows that the action has been taken and a record has been created. So I need to hold these respond values. So I will use the num of records affected in order to hold the return value. Okay, so I'll just copy this variable down and then I'm just going to put equal to, okay, right? So this is what I've done, right? Then after that I will what? I will close the connection. Right, close the connection. After I've closed the connection, of course, remember that there is a return statement here. What is the return statement? Return num of records affected. Nice. Right, this one is needed by the web form. This one will sooner or later needed by the calling web form. Why is it needed? So that it will display to the user that 1 record has been created, or else the user using the web form in the web browser will think that our system hang already after they click the save button. Okay, so this is the necessary code residing inside the addOneStaffMethod. Continue to the next session to find out how the web form start using this public method to begin collect information and create a staff record inside the database, and that will be the presentation layer. This is the end of the development for the data layer. Okay.